Actually, ironically, Trump has helped us out and open up the space for the Dawah again.
I looked for protection from Allah.
Really, ironically speaking, what has helped open up the space for us for the Dawah back in America is when Trump ran for office and when Trump got elected, that actually helped open back up the Dawah for us because Trump just came off to be so repugnant and so despicable that people who were kind of hostile to the Muslims felt a little sympathy for us because of how nonsensical and how crazy he was talking about Muslims, right? So, and then you had white supremacists like David Duke and KKK people and white nationalists, Richard Spencer and these people vouching and endorsing Donald Trump. So actually, ironically, Trump has helped us out and open up the space for the Dawah again in comparison to when Daesh came up and Boko Haram too, by the way. When Boko Haram did those things and took those girls that were hostage, it was horrible as far as the amount of negative media and some of the things that were being said, especially to Muhajibat in our area in particular.
Yeah, it's one of those situations with Trump, I believe, when it's overt, when racism is overt, it's really easy to call out.
Yeah.
Sometimes I believe it's more dangerous when you have somebody who's really slick with their racism. And they have the same agenda, but they come at you with this smile and nice words. And even they may preach togetherness, but their real actions or they have significant effort to undermine people or harm people. I've experienced that myself personally, but I also see that as, like when you look at a lot of the policies that Trump has, it's really an extension of Bush and Obama era policies. You know what I mean? And it's easier to hate him because he's very open. Like this guy doesn't have a filter, right? These other guys, seem to listen to their entourage a little bit more and had a few filters to go through. But he just says stuff. And so in a sense, you kind of have this curtain peeled back and you see, hey, this is what's going on. This is what the Wizard of Oz looks like, What are your thoughts on that in terms of like this overt and this covert racism that sometimes I feel is more destructive because people think, hey, everything's okay,
Well, and no doubt about it that there are a lot of racist policies under the last two previous administrations, including the Obama administration. Matter of fact, Obama was the drone meister. Like he drone killed more Muslim civilians than Trump has. Right. Same thing with rounding up immigrants. Obama, his first 3 years, has rounded up more immigrants and deported and split more families than Trump. Right. Just the rhetoric, just Obama is just he's more polished, But what the danger of Trump is this is that the racism has always been there. But he has, by his rhetoric, he has openly emboldened people that normally would at least try to arrest or keep their racism on the down low or under the covers. Now you have people who are flat out showing their hostility and showing their anger. And this is why when Trump first got elected, we had a spike in hate crimes in the United States of America that had been unprecedented since the 1960s. Why? When you have a president that goes on national TV and when the Nazis and the Klan go and protest at the University of Virginia, and then he says there's good people on both sides, and the guy goes and runs over a young white girl who's protesting against anti-black racism, when he goes and says that there's good people on both sides, this just emboldens these white supremacists to go out and be even more public and be more brazen. And this is even what they've said, right? And Richard Spencer said this, right? And the Proud Boys and these other groups, right? So that's the danger in Trump, really, that I see. And I believe that if he loses this election and Americans have become more armed than they have ever before. But it's a specific type of American that has been getting these guns. I believe that these people are going to go out on mass shooting sprees, and that we haven't seen in this country probably since the 1920s.
Do I feel that the New York police are providing enough protection, or do I have to have protection of my own? I look for protection from Allah.